Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay, and today I want to talk about how Fantasy Flight Games are going to deal with future waves in Star Wars X-Wing. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, I watched a video from Krabok. I don't know when he released it, but I watched it yesterday, which was talking about how many factions are too many for Star Wars X-Wing. We are scheduled to have 7 factions, whereas we currently have 3, and he was saying how many are too many, how they're going to have the Old Republic, New Republic, and all that kind of stuff, whatever it was. And yeah, but what really interests me is how are they going to do upgrade cards with these waves? Because obviously we've got the Empire and the Rebels right now, and Scum and Villainy, but those two main factions have got a lot more ships than, say, we have for the First Order and the Resistance. So there's a lot more ships, so it stands to reason that, especially when the new factions of Clone Wars come out, those factions will need to get more ships quicker than the existing faction that already have quite a lot of ships. Now, if they do a specific release schedule that maybe they'll do a release just for those 2 new factions, First Order and the Resistance, are they going to include any new generic upgrade cards? Because we've been told that the plan is that you'll be able to just pick one faction, buy everything in that faction, and you'll have everything that you could ever need. There's a few exceptions to that, but mostly that's solid and has been the case. It will be the case. But my concern is that if these new factions are getting new ships at a faster rate, which makes sense, as they don't have as many ships now, so nobody was really arguing against that. I think, in fact, that makes it's a sensible thing to do. It's will FFG be tempted to put new generic upgrade cards on those in those expansions? Now, if they do, and then they release a ship down the line, people will be like, oh, that's okay. But I would then say it depends on how long that time frame is. Like, if they release a ship, say, in December one year, and then the other factions only get their card in September, that's obviously far too long. So I'm a little bit not concerned. Concerns are high. It's premature. Not this hasn't happened yet, so it's nothing to worry about right now. But I'm just curious what they'll do when we get, especially new factions like the Clone Wars. They have literally 0 ships, so they're going to have to start from scratch. And Empire's probably got 15, 20 ships. I actually don't know. And they're obviously going to want to have unique cards for them. Well, generic cards for them. But will they do just unique faction-specific cards? And if they do that, will that be okay? And will that interest people? I think the answer to that is yes. So I don't think this is a massive problem, because I think what they'll do is they'll just do they'll have generic cards in the packs, but all the new cards will probably be faction specific or pilot specific and that kind of thing. At least I hope that's the case. But it's very interesting to consider, especially when they're not going to be able to do what they did with the previous waves, which is release the waves at the similar-ish time, because there's going to be 7 factions. I don't think they're going to do 7 releases every 3 months. I feel like that might be a little bit high, and it is a bit of a concern that when we do get to new cards coming out, you'll probably get new cards when the Empire and Rebels and Scum and Villainy are getting new cards. When they get new cards, everybody else probably will. But when that does happen, it's gonna if they're not gonna all come out at the same time, there might be a 3-month period where you can't get your hand on some new generic upgrade cards, which could be a bit of a problem and could force people to feel like they have to buy. If one of the cards is super good, you might feel like you've got to buy it. But yeah, I realise this is not necessarily a massive concern. It's just something I thought about because of Krabok's video, which is obviously you should go check him out if you're not already aware of who he is and or subscribe to his channel. You should go do both. Yeah, I just thought it's interesting to think about now that there's going to be officially 7 factions. It's really interesting to think about release schedules. Well, it is for somebody like me. And I was even thinking that even extended to sort of Legion. Legion's going to have the Clone Wars factions, and they're going to have to get caught up. But they're not going to want to neglect their original factions because that's the ones that most people play because that's the ones that you can get now. So I think X-Wing will be the same. I think it's going to be very hard for these other factions to catch up. Perhaps, maybe, they will never catch up and they'll never be intended to catch up. Perhaps every time the Clone Wars get a new ship, maybe the Empire and the Rebels will get a new ship, which will be pretty interesting. All in all, I think having multiple factions is a good idea for every game. It allows for like more tailored, specific, different kinds of unique builds and stuff like that, and unique identities. And, you know, it means you don't have to buy them all. Like in the past, people felt like they had to buy all of the X-Wing stuff. Whereas now you don't feel like that. And unless you're super competitive, you probably want it all. But, yeah, like, it's something that I'm interested in. Is it something you've thought about? If FFG released a ship for the Clone Wars that had a really good card that you could use in your Empire list, and you knew you were getting it in 3 months' time, but there was a big event coming, would you buy the Clone Wars ship? I think I might. I just hope they don't do it. I don't think they will. As I said, I think like Clone Wars and the new any of the new factions will probably get unique cards, but they'll be specifically for that faction. At least maybe even that era, perhaps. Who knows? I think that's what will happen. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So just a ponderance about that. Hopefully you're subject you're interested in. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen? I think it'll all be okay. Like, I don't want to fearmonger or scaremonger. I don't think it's going to be mostly fine. But let me know your thoughts. Would you buy that ship if you needed it and you were going to an event? Would you? Maybe don't answer. Maybe FFG will be reading and they're like, we should do that. If you like this video, then do like. If you're not already subscribed, then do hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified. Thank you to all my Patreons. I do really appreciate that. What you should do, though, is have the most beautiful day, and goodbye. Bye, guys.